Handle Your Business, a weekly podcast discussing a little of this and a little of that. Handle Your Business appropriately blends serious topics with fun topics, all in an effort to help you have a good or better life. So join me, your host, Lady Lashley, and some amazing guests every Sunday at 5 p.m. to explore everything from financial management to dealing with relationship challenges. Put it in your calendar every Sunday from 5 p.m. Tune in to Handle Your Business to get you ready for the week ahead. For more details, follow at Lady Lashley TT on Instagram and Facebook. Handle Your Business. Welcome to another episode of Handle Your Business with yours truly, Lady Lashley. Today I have with me Wendyann Francis, a super lady, co-host of her own program on television or on-screen Internet Moments, hosted alongside her husband, Pastor Dill Francis. And Wendyann, you are somebody that I don't know personally, but I've looked at the program Intimate Moments. And like I said to you, I looked at a recent television interview that you did here in Tobago on the local TV station, talking about being a wife, supporting your husband, making time for yourself as a woman. And so I wanted you to come on here and Handle Your Business and let's talk about that. Being a wife, supporting a husband, making time for yourself as a woman, right? Like I said, I loved your approach, very open, very honest, very transparent, not highfalutin, nothing like that. And of course, there's some things I think that even with a visual of you, that some of us women may be able to learn, but unfortunately, this is audio only. Because you have the nice body language, I think that speaks positively to the messaging that you're passing on. Right. But I think that your personality is bubbly and authentic enough, so it will come out in this conversation. So thank you. Thank you very much for joining me. Let's start with a little bit about yourself. You are a pastor's wife, but certainly there's much more to Wendyann Francis than being a pastor's wife. So tell us about Wendyann Francis.
Wendyann Francis. Well, I'm simple. I don't think of myself as anything much. I'm a simple person. I work, I'm into administration. It's one of the things that I'm really good at. And I actually enjoy doing it. I'm a mother of 3 children. I've been a wife. I've been involved in church for many years. Actually, since I've been small, I've been involved in choir. I've been involved in the worship team. I would have led, a worship team at one point, so I've been involved in ministry. I would have ministered. I would have gone through West Indies School of Theology. That's the Bible school as well. Mm-hmm. So I am trained, but I would say I'm an everyday person. And one of the things about me is that I like to be honest. I like to be open. I don't like to pretend. I usually tell people I really don't know how to pretend. So if something happens, you usually see the expression on my face. You will see it. So
right.
So I don't know how not to be me, and it's difficult. And sometimes some persons can accept you the way that you are, and then there are others who have a problem because in their mind, they think, especially for a pastor's wife, there's a particular way that you are supposed to be, a particular way you're supposed to act and dress and, that kind of thing. And I think my oldest daughter would have said it best. She said, "Mommy, you are not the typical pastor's wife, right?" And I said, well, yes, I know that because this is just who I am. And one of the things that I believe that is so important is that as we minister to people, as we reach people, as we communicate with people, everyone is not the same. And so I am called to minister to maybe a certain sector of persons as opposed to somebody else. So really, in a nutshell, that's who I am.
No, that's extremely interesting that you put that there because full disclosure, I am probably the opposite of Christian, right? But I found, and I'm not atheist, by the way. I'm just not religious, right?
Yes.
I actually, in looking at the program, Intimate Moments, when I listened to some of the things that you put forward with your husband, you know, just about relationships and so on, I thought to myself, well, okay, this is not, you know, like the kind of usual quote unquote Christian-y kind of thing.
Yes,
You know,
yes.
it's something that all of us could relate to. And I remember I shared one of the episodes that I liked, and a few other women that I know who are also not Christians, they tuned in and they were like, yeah, girl, this is good enough. She good, you know, and they actually enjoyed the information. And so I want to go into immediately, let's talk about support as a wife, because that's the last thing that I heard you talk about when you were on television. Being able to support your husband. And in this case, I'm going to stretch it a bit, because in the space that we're in, we have people who are non-Christian or Christian believers, but they are in live-in committed relationships, more or less like husband and wife. So the message kind of extends when we're talking about supporting your man, right?
Yes.
Talk to us, specifically the woman here, about your view on what supporting your man, supporting your husband looks like. And of course, this is specific to people who are in committed partner relationships.
Yes. You know, when we talk about commitment, and this goes even before my husband was in ministry per se. Before he worked secular. I mean, he still works secular, but he was a trainer at Serval. So he started there doing electronics. And I think even before that, while he was working at an electronics store, one of the things my husband he always loved electronics, and he always wanted to do it. And he started to do, back in those days, what we called correspondence courses. Now, it's interesting that back then it was correspondence course. Now it's online. You can do online from anywhere. And I know that persons would have discouraged him, and they would have said to him, oh, that doesn't make any sense, and all of these things. But my husband, he registered, he came, they sent his package, they sent everything, and I would be there with him. I would help him. He knew all the work. I couldn't tell you all the jargons and all the maths and that kind of thing. I'm not good at maths at all. But I was there with him right through. Every step of the way, I would be there. I would assist wherever, however I can. And I think then the greatest support he had at that time was the fact that I encouraged him. I always encouraged him. Anything I said, you want to do it, you can do it. Keep pressing, keep pushing. I would encourage him. So, okay, what else do you want to do? He said he was going to do the advanced electronics. I said, okay. You know, so whether it's financially, whether it's however, because one of the things I think that sometimes, I think some persons in this generation, there's this thought that, oh, you don't build up a man. But it's not about building up a man, but it's about building each other. And as I build my significant other, we do better together. And I think we have to start to see it from that concept.
Right.
And that's what we do for each other. And we do it, you know, with that mindset that, listen, I am benefiting as I encourage him. And you feel better, you know, as a female, knowing that I would have contributed to his growth, his development. I would have contributed, and look at you, and lower down the line, you see the benefits of it. You know, he would have moved from there. He would have changed jobs from there. And I remember when on the computer in terms of typing and stuff like that, but anything he needed to have done, I was there. I would sit down. I said, listen, okay, good. We're doing it together. Sometimes he's moving a little bit slow. So I would say to him, listen, just tell me what you want to say and I will type. Just telling you, it doesn't matter where you are at every level, you are given the support. Because I think what's so important for men more than anything else is to know that they have the emotional support. To know that, listen, my partner is here and she's supporting, she's encouraging me every step of the way. If I need assistance, she is there. So as we continue to move along, that's how it's always been. Even at times when he would go out and he would do weddings, he would do programs, graduations, that kind of thing. I don't know anything about the editing process and the software. But at times when he was up late at night, I would come out and I would sit with him while he's going through. Yes, I would pick up one or two things here and there, but I was there. And I think he felt good knowing that, listen, it's not as if I'm here just by myself. I know that there are some wives who say, well, that's my husband thing. So while he's in this corner doing his thing, I'm doing my thing. And I'm not saying that you don't do that from time to time, but I think that there are times where you put aside and you are there. These are the things that men remember. Men don't forget those things, eh?
No.
And I think, yeah.
You're saying that, and it leads me to in the past, the way some of us were raised, you know, it was like, okay, we teach you how to cook, how to clean, how to take care of the house, because that's taking care of the husband. And surprisingly enough, in these 2022, 2021, there are men who have said that they want more than that. And some of them happen to have wives or committed female partners who say, well, listen, I doing what I'm supposed to do for you. You come home, the house clean, you have food, your clothes clean, everything. What more you want? And here you are, Wendyann, talking about emotional support. Somebody who don't know anything about emotional support, especially if you've never had any emotional support yourself. You don't even know what your emotions are sometimes.
Exactly. Yes.
How do you begin to, what do you say to women who perhaps, you know, they've heard their men say to them before, you know, or maybe just not appreciate, you know, sometimes women feel as if you're doing all of this and the man not appreciating. But you are saying that the men place, by your experience, great emphasis on the emotional support. So for a woman who does not know how to begin to provide emotional support, do you have any sort of suggestions? I know you talk about, you know, just being there, but it might be awkward when you never do it before. So how are you going to start?
You know, I think the way I started was by listening. I think that's key. It's key in listening. So, because remember, I didn't always used to do these things, but I would listen to him and, you know, you would hear, he would express, you know, I have to sit here long hours by myself. So men have a way of, they give you keys and little hints as to, you know, things that they may need. They wouldn't come out and say, well, oh, you know, oh Lord, I wish you would just come and sit here with me. But, you know, they would say, this thing really long, boy, I have to stay up for a long time. You know, a man, he may be struggling. Even when it comes to maybe providing, sometimes he may not have all the money, that kind of thing. But something simple as saying, you know, honey, you know, things not easy right now, but we will make it. I am here with you because listen, my husband and I, we would have faced some situations, and I am telling you, it could break up any relationship. You know, the things, external things just coming at you. And one of the things I said to my husband, I said, listen, sweetheart, I said, it doesn't matter what happens. I said, I am here with you. I said, you just know I am here with you. I'm not going anywhere. We are fighting this thing together. We are going through this together. And as much as possible, I would encourage him, sweetheart, things will get better. Things will get better. And sometimes it's just words of affirmation. And the truth is, a lot of the times, just as you said, because we are not accustomed getting it ourselves, it's difficult. But sometimes it just takes the little things. The little things that are so important. Sweetheart, it will be okay. And as you begin to say these things, you begin to see how his expression will change, his perspective will change. You would realize that he will become more upbeat and more positive. So that instead of him coming home every day, oh Lord, today was another hard day, he would come up, you know, today might have been challenging, but we will make it. I didn't get everything I wanted to get today, but I know we will get it. And that's how we begin to do it. You know, just sometimes it's just a matter of listening to what they communicate.
Right.
And
no, you're talking about the building up aspect, which is very important. And unfortunately, many of us, we now have no clue how to build up nobody because they didn't bring us up like that. If you were fortunate to be in a home where there was a male and female in a relationship and they had that, then you picked up a few things. But in our region, you know, many of us we don't get it. Right?
And I didn't grow up with it either.
Right. And that's the thing, you're talking about learning. Now, for me, my own personal opinion is that many of us women, are like natural producers. I like to say producers as in we could take a little and we could make things happen.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
We have the ability to really make something out of nothing. And when it comes to your intimate partner relationship, because you hit the nail on the hammer there when you talk about the finances sometimes. Finances is something that it seems as if men don't react well when they're not able to provide financially, earn financially. Things go haywire. So as a female, we coming out of a pandemic. Whoever end up with plenty money right now, they're real good, right? We coming out of a pandemic, everybody's struggling. What do you say to the woman who, you know, you want to maintain a social life, you want to have a date, you want to do something nice. Sometimes you want to get rid of the children, right?
Yes.
How do you attempt to perhaps make something out of nothing where you want to create a nice space for your husband, for your man, but you understand that you can't necessarily go to him and say, well, let me go to a restaurant and a place open up. You know what I mean? Because it has no money.
Exactly. I think well, for those of you who have external resources, and when I say external resources, I'm talking about family members. First of all, to keep the children. A friend, somebody who you can trust, because these days it's very important to know where you're sending your children.
Right.
Need to plug that in there. I'm a mother of 3, and that's one thing I don't play with when it comes to my children. So that you begin to look at what resources do you have. You have somewhere to send the children. And the thing is, you can take your home, you can take your room and transform it. You know, I'll tell you this. I remember when my husband and I got married. His birthday was actually the next month. We got married in October. His birthday was November. And between the two of us, we didn't have much money at all. And we were living at the house of a friend. So basically we had our room. And I remember the day of his birthday, and I was at work and I was wondering, what should I do? And as I was talking to a friend of mine who was working in a Chinese store, she said, well, you don't have to worry. She said, you could just buy some food, go to the Chinese. She said, come, we will give you some smaller portions. And she said, you could take that. She said, you could go home, get a box cake, get your little oil, your 2 or 3 eggs, make a cake, and have that dinner at home. Listen to me, I took her advice. It didn't cost me much money.
Right.
I just went in, I bought that, just enough, just for the 2 of us. In the little portions, I bought a box cake. First time in my life, I made box cake. I'm accustomed making cake from scratch. I did the box cake, I got the little icing, I fixed it up, I transformed the room. And I got my candles, and I put on a dress that he loved to see me in. So by the time he came in from work, because by the time he came in, I think it was after 7, as he entered the room, he saw a candlelight and he saw this stuff to eat. He was excited. And I'm saying, these are the little things. Sometimes we think it's the big things. It's not about always going to the big restaurants and getting stuff. You could just go get a little portion. Even if you can't and you have to cook it yourself, you decide, listen, let me find something nice. Look for something. I mean, those movies you always see, they cook their favorite meal. Sometimes their favorite meal may not be your favorite meal, but you know, depending on what it is, you could do something that you know he would like, cook something you know he would like, and decorate the room. Find something to put. Listen to me, especially if it's in your home. Hello, you don't need much clothes. You don't need much. You know, sometimes we think we have to have all of this. Please, you don't. Sometimes, some nice makeup and some stilettos is all you need.
You better preach now.
Listen, and he comes in, and the first thing he sees, listen to me, he is happy. Every stress that he felt during the day went out the door, shring. And for that time, he is relaxed. And sometimes we just have to find a way just to get them relaxed.
You know, you really have to start a class, because I know you said it, and maybe you have been practicing, so it comes naturally to you now. But we have so many women. You know, I have some friends who are older than I am. You know, they're in their 50s, that kind of thing. And sometimes I get the impression from them that they feel as if, you know, their whole romantic life done. And I think to myself, yes, you know, again, it goes back to how we are nurtured in this place.
Nurtured, so
right?
true. So
and
true.
Unfortunately, for many people who are traditional religious women, especially, you see that kind of thing about wearing some long thing down to your ankle and behaving extremely meek and mild when a man's nature is so different. So coming now to really, I suppose, bringing some women along where they feel comfortable enough to kind of move out of their shells. Because again, you're not talking about sending somebody to be wild and promiscuous. You're talking about this is you and your committed partner, your husband or your long-term living partner that you already have children for anyhow.
Yes.
Right? Many times. So maybe you really need to hurry up and start the class, because sometimes other women just want to hear it from another woman, especially somebody who has been there. So somebody like you have 3 children, we've been married for a long time, you know, that may bring a certain level of credibility for some of the women. Now, let me talk a little bit about the dressing, because I know you say when it comes to certain times, you really need the clothes. But on the other hand, some people really need some clothes because you're there and you're looking like a old, I don't know what to say.
Listen, but and I think as well, sometimes this is where the men actually come in. Because even at times I would feel like, oh my Lord, there's some flabs here, boy, whoosh. And my husband looks at me and he's like, I'm not bothered, I love it. And sometimes we fuss about things that the men really don't fuss about, you know.
Well, that's true, especially when it comes to the body. I don't know. I have learned that us women, when it comes to our body, we complain about things that the men don't care one ounce about.
They don't care.
They don't care about.
No, and the thing is, even if you feel a little bit conscious, you know, you're kind of uncomfortable, you could get there are different lingeries that you can get. I'm not talking about nightgowns, I'm saying lingerie. There's a difference between nightgowns and lingerie. Nightgowns is those cotton and those kind of jersey stuff. No, we're not talking about that. You can get some really nice lingerie. You can get some nice see-through stuff with some little bra tops. Listen to me, those men don't care, you know.
And made for your body.
And and you can get stuff that will fit your body. Listen to me, those men, your husband, he would be excited. He'd be like, oh my God. Oh my God. So even if you're uncomfortable, you can start off gradually. And the thing is, the more you do it and the more you see his response and the fact that he loves it and he appreciates it, after a while he may say to you, that's too much clothes, right? Listen, I'm telling you things from experience. I was going to be like, Sita, that's too much clothes. That is too much clothes. Get rid of it. So, and as they tell you, listen, you don't have to worry about anybody, because the truth is, nobody else is there. Nobody else is seeing. It's just the two of you. It's private.
That's the very important part. Many times we operate as if, you know, you're putting on a display for the world, when really it's your own private situation. Now, what I was getting to, one of the things I remember you saying is about changing up the look. So now we go on from the more sensual, sexual need for clothes or no clothes or different types of fabric, to you dressing everyday purposes. You know, even if you're at home or you're going to work, you spoke about, you know, changing the hair. You like to change your hair, perhaps getting lipstick if you're a lipstick person. Let's talk a little bit about dollsing up yourself, even if it's for you to feel good and eat a watch.
Exactly. No, the thing about it is that we have to remember that we dress differently to go different places. And I think that's one concept that some people, even as believers or more traditional people, still have a challenge with. If I'm dressing to go to church, I dress a particular way because I'm going into the house of the Lord. If I'm going to a conference or something, I dress a particular way. But when I am going to dinner with my husband, you will not see me in a long sleeve dress and anything that's long. Well, and in any case, I'm short, and I've been delivered years ago with regard to the concept of wearing long clothes because I'm short and it doesn't look good on me, and I have some size. And I have come to the, listen, I've had some experiences. I remember I was younger, and I remember one day a friend said to me, she said, "Why are you dressing like an old woman?" She said, "You're younger than me and you looking like an old man. What's going on with you?" You know, I stopped that, right?
One time.
One time, I started to wear clothes that was more appropriate for my height. I stopped wearing oversized big clothes to look as if you're hiding something. Mm-hmm. No, it's not about that. You just have to dress. I mean, being dressed decent is, you don't have to have anything that's fitting you like a bag and all the way down. So you dress appropriately. And the thing about it is that there are different styles for different shapes. We don't all have the Coca-Cola shape. I don't have the Coca-Cola shape, my sister. But I wear clothes that fits my shape and my size. So when I'm going to a dinner with my husband, I remember one time I was going to dinner. I bought myself a strapless dress, a close-fitting strapless dress, sister. And I put that on, and my husband was like, wow. Mm-hmm. Because we were going out to dinner. We weren't going to a church function. We were going out to dinner by ourselves. Nothing was revealing. And the only person who was paying attention to me when I went out to dinner was my husband, because everybody who else came was paying attention to who was in front of them.
Right.
So I dress, I fix myself, I look good. When you talk about changing of your hairstyle, and so, I think it's important. We are not always the same. The truth is, we are getting older every day. Our looks change, different things change. So just as it changes, there's nothing wrong with changing your hair. I've changed the color of my hair. I've changed the style. I've changed the length. I would have cut down my hair at one time and texturized it and colored it. I would have put in braids. I would have put in the twist. I would have put in weave and different types of weave. But you look different, because the thing is, men like excitement. So when he comes and he looks at you, he's like, wait now. You did your hair. You
Correct.
look different. There's something that keeps them. It keeps them on their toes. And I think as well, sometimes it helps to keep them in line, because there's some of them who think that, oh, maybe I could get somebody else. Oh, but she could get somebody else too, right?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
okay. So I look good. So if I look good, you better behave yourself.
No, I love how you said that, because I don't know, I've come across some women who feel as if after you get the ring, or if you would demand so long, it's like, sometimes it's stress. You have a lot of work, you might be in a happy relationship, but you're not taking the time out for self-care.
Yes.
I have learned that you need to make self-care your number one thing.
Yes.
Right? Go by the spa or get a friend or whoever, get a pedicure. You might be able to do a manicure because you're always using your hands, that kind of thing. Make sure your feet look good. If you self doing it, if you had the time and you had the skills, scrub your feet, put on some nice little nail polish, clear or color, your choice.
Exactly.
Keep your skin clean. Now you talk about the clothes. I think that excites me because I like that aspect of it. I feel that even if you're single, buy some lingerie, have some lovely scented candles, or maybe a diffuser with good smelling, oils and so on. Even if it's peppermint oil, because sometimes I like peppermint oil just to clear my nasal passage, but you create your own vibe, because part of that is not just for the man in your life.
Exactly.
It's also it's just so you feel wholesome. Yes.
You could relax, you could breathe easy. Listen to me. And when
Yeah.
you do that, you could have your own nice soft music that you like. Listen to it.
Hello.
You know? Listen, I mean, I don't drink wine. I drink non-alcoholic.
Yeah.
But you could have yourself, have yourself something to drink. What you like to drink and just relax. Listen to some music and just enjoy yourself. Enjoy being by yourself. Enjoy the moment.
Yeah.
Because the truth is, you get so busy sometimes taking care of everybody else, taking care of children, taking care of your husband, taking care of the house, taking care of persons at work, because you're at work and you have such great responsibilities. And sometimes you just need to come and just kick your shoes off and put your legs up in the air and just relax and just breathe.
Yeah. Now, how do you suggest some of us pass this on for those of us who have daughters, right? And it is, like I said, it's no secret in our society that many of us aren't taught any of this. We never see it. You just talk about the non-alcoholic wine. I used to really love wine. I have a daughter, and it started off maybe, I think, for her birthday, getting her like the sparkling grape juice, that kind of thing. I ain't calling no brand.
Yes.
But now every month, or ever so often when I go to the grocery, I pick up 2 bottles. She like a strawberry flavored one. And then I start having her drink in a wine glass. You know, you could get the plastic ones, or you could be there to supervise with the glass ones. And I kind of getting her in the habit of, we put on some music, she have some lights, dress up nice. Well, I like to tell she something that them people used to say a long time, not put on no clothes with no hole. Right? Yes. If you have clothes with hole, throw that in the dustbin.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
So I kind of started that with her. And part of it, I said, for her, as a young girl growing up, one, I wanted to see me doing things for myself, including the lingerie. I love lingerie. So you buy lingerie and, and she sees the different styles. I would carry her shopping with me. No, I can't buy lingerie for her, but she has decent undergarments. Giving her some sparkling grape juice. We call it children's wine in our house. And she gets accustomed to feeling good and celebrating self. What do you say to some of us with daughters, young girls in our homes, that we need to, help understand that that's critical?
And you see, just what you said that you do, I think that is so important. You see, the thing is, children learn what they see. And if they see you doing it, they will do it naturally because it becomes a part of who they are. I would say that for those who may never have had that experience, I may never have done it for yourself, and maybe for whatever reason or the other, you feel that you can't do it or you're having difficulty in doing it, I think you need to have the discussions with your daughters as they get older. I think it's important to begin to talk to them. One of the things at our culture is, growing up, they never spoke to us. They never told me, okay, well, you will get married someday and this is what, these are the things that you should do or you can't. Then they never had those conversations. So we basically learn on the fly.
Right.
You understand? But I think it's important to have to talk to your daughters. The truth is, they are seeing it taking place. They're hearing their friends talk about it. They're looking at the movies. As a matter of fact, they're not looking at the movies. They're looking at the Kim Kardashians because everybody now has access to internet. They're looking at all the stars and they want to live like the stars and they want to be like the stars. And even as they look at it, you can begin to have conversations with them. And they begin to express, I like this. I like that. And that way you can begin to help them along. Right. Sometimes they could get very extreme, but you're able, as you talk to them, to show them the pros and the cons and to help sometimes pull them back from some of the extreme, unrealistic ideas that they may have. And just, I encourage them, do it little bit by little bit. Listen, you need to take care of yourself. And you can do it for them as well. You could say, listen, you're going to school. Back in the day, our parents didn't think, well, you had to go to school and that was it. But nobody ever considered that actually being in school is stressful and maybe saying to their daughter, listen, you need a day off. So take a break. What do you want to do? If you could afford a spa, or maybe just like you said, maybe just afford a facial and just say, listen, Today, you'll just go and do a facial and you'll just relax. Or you want to go and do your toes, just like you said. I'll send you to do your toes. And as you begin to do these little things, and the truth is, they don't always cost as much money as we think, and we could plan for it. If we begin to put aside the money and we say, well, okay, little bit by little bit. And when you get the money, say, listen, I want you to treat yourself. I want you to do something for you. Or you give them, you put aside some money and you're able to say to them, listen, I'm going to give you this money. You need to relax. You need to have a day out for yourself. What do you want to do? Do you want to spend it with your friends? What do you all want to do? And you just say, listen, this day is for you to enjoy. If you want me there, I'll be there with you, depending on the age. Of course, if they're older, teenage, it's different. But younger, you can say to your child, what do you want us to do today? What would you like to do? And you get them into that habit of realizing that you need a me day. You need a day for self-care. You need a day to just relax, enjoy, forget about schoolwork, forget about whatever troubles or whatever things that are bothering them. And it starts from there. We like to sometimes look at the big things, but the big things start small. Correct. And as long as we start small in little ways, just as you said that you do with your daughter, take them out shopping. You want to get them underwear. Okay, so what type of underwear do you like? And you take them out shopping. Don't just go and say, well, okay, this is for you, this is for you. But you get them to begin to look at, okay, I like this. Oh, this, mommy, this looks sexy. Oh, yes, my big daughter used to hit me. Oh, mommy, this looks sexy. And I'm like, yes, sexy, but not for you as yet.
Correct.
You understand? But you have those conversations with them. And I think it's so important. We need to get into the culture and the habit of having conversation with our children. They are not too young. We think that they are too young, but they are not too young because they are exposed to so many things at school. I remember a friend of mine saying that her daughter, one day at school, I think was it one of the children came to school with porn. And I'm saying that these children are seeing these things, they're exposed to these things from young. And so as parents, we should not be naive and think that our children don't know anything. They do know. Mm-hmm. But it's up to us to introduce it to them in the right way, or to help them, or to create a space so that when things happen, or if they want to discuss things that they like and these things, they have a safe space to discuss it, and that we are able to help them on the road to really taking care of themselves and doing what is best for themselves.
Most definitely. And that's an excellent way for us to wrap up now, Wendy, and the time flies so fast. Yes. But I'm going to give you a dare. If in some weeks' time, you haven't started that female class yet, that class for us women, I would have to bring you back on so that we can start to talk some more until you decide to develop your own class. I know you're very busy with your own life. And you have intimate moments going on, but sometimes when we find a good teacher, tutor, you like to hold on to them, you might at least be concerned about doing any such things. But I always say sometimes it takes a special kind of person to deliver a message that different people will relate to. Yes, and I feel in this circumstance, you are one of those special people, who can talk to perhaps almost anybody on this topic, especially us women in micro spaces like Tobago. Relationships, I know that you will know relationships out here struggling. People putting up a front, and then you go home and you don't want to be home. Husbands don't want to be home. Wives don't want to look at their partners for too long. And COVID really bring that out for some people.
Oh, yes.
For those who have the opportunity and want to attempt to improve their situation, I really feel like maybe somebody like you with your little nuggets will be able to help some of us. So keep up the good work, you and Pastor Dill with Intimate Moments.
Thank you.
And thank you again, for joining me. As I always say in closing, we had this conversation so that when you listen to this podcast episode, you will be able to handle your business. Handle Your Business, a weekly podcast discussing a little of this and a little of that. Handle Your Business appropriately blends serious topics with fun topics, all in an effort to help you have a good or better life. So join me, your host, Lady Lashley, and some amazing guests every Sunday at 5 p.m. to explore everything from financial management to dealing with relationship challenges. Put it in your calendar every Sunday from 5 p.m. Tune in to Handle Your Business to get you ready for the week ahead. For more details, follow at Lady Lashley TT on Instagram and Facebook. Handle Your Business.